Hello, so welcome to number 2 of mine and Amber's series on talking about all things vocals. So my name's Megan, I'm an administrator at WaterBear. You might have chatted to me, sent me an email. We love hearing from you. I am also a professional vocalist in my own right. I have my own originals project called Miss Franklin. I also have come from a covers background doing cruise ships and have also done a lot of teaching as well.
And I am Amber, and I am the head of vocals here at WaterBear. And just like Megan, done the covers scene, originals bands, have toured with some amazing musicians. And yeah, so music is life. And today we are talking about how to look after yourself as a professional vocalist, everything from warming up to health and well-being.
So health and well-being is really important.
Absolutely.
For a vocalist, if you think about it, even for general everyday life, if you aren't a singer, your vocal health, your voice is something that we're using all the time. And vocal health is something that I kind of arrived at, I suppose, from a negative point of view. In a way, I have actually come from a place of vocal damage as a child. So yeah.
It's very common.
Yeah,
very
definitely.
Common.
I was in a show in the West End when I was little, and we would have 4 shows in a row over 3 days, but you'd get one warm-up at the beginning of that 3 days. Now, as an adult vocalist, that sends shivers down my spine.
I can see why.
Yeah, and I've learnt the hard way how important it is to warm up. And I always remember at the end of term in school, do you always remember your teachers used to lose their voice?
Yeah.
Just before summer. Just before summer. Because they're having to talk so often. And when you think about it in that respect, if you're about to go and do a 45-minute set gig, that's about, 30 songs?
Yeah.
30 plus songs. That is a lot of wear and tear on your voice. So it is so important to warm up.
It really is. And the funny thing is, you're saying about talking, these are things that I have come to later in life as well. Realise why my voice was so strained and stressed. Even though I warm up and I look after myself and I drink plenty of water and all these things, I realised it was the excessive talking, elevating my voice to a level to get across to students. And also the biggest thing that I found was talking loudly at gigs, because you're talking over loud music, and that also goes for rehearsals as well. I mean, you're constantly raising your voice to be heard, and then at the end of the night you're going home going, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the gig tomorrow. But you have to, because this is your job. And some days we're doing 4 gigs a week back to back. You have wedding season, you're in a covers band, or perhaps Christmas party season, or you're working on your original stuff and you have set up a tour. It's really, really important to keep your voice kind of calm and soft as best as you can, as often as you can, because you are going to spend a lot of that time shouting, talking, singing and raising your voice.
Yeah, I think the thing with warming up a lot of the time is people are afraid to make a loud noise.
Yeah.
And it is that thing, especially if you're in an audition scenario, or if you are coming into a situation where you're in a choir gig or something like that, but you've got to take responsibility for your own vocal health. It is quite daunting making a loud noise, and you hear all these, we've all been in that room where there's that person in the corner going, woo, and you're going, oh my God.
There
please.
are some really embarrassing warm-ups. I mean, I remember one of my singing teachers, I loved her, don't get me wrong, she was amazing, and I remember her to this day, but I do remember she played the piano, there was a mirror above her kind of thing, and she would watch me through the mirror, and she would make me sing like a siren, and just do these really crazy noises like woo, and I just hated my life. I was about 14 and it was embarrassing, but as a teacher, as an older person now, as somebody who gigs, we get a bit lackluster. We don't warm up every single time, but we feel it when we don't. And that's the thing. And every school that I go into and every group that I teach, I always ask them, why do you think we warm up? If you were an athlete, what would you do before you run? What would you do before you swim? And all of them say, we do some stretches, we do this and we do that. Your voice is a muscle. Everything in here needs to be warm and cooled down, and it's vital if you want to sing consistently over a few days.
Yeah. If you were to sit and actually have to make a list now of how many body parts we use when we sing.
Oh, yeah.
You can pretty much not not include anything. We use, I often ask this when teaching, we're using our lungs, we're using our diaphragm, some of the biggest muscles in the body we're using whilst we're singing, even to the point of if you're standing and singing.
Your posture, the way your feet are,
spine.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, so it's so important to warm up.
It really is. Some of the go-to kind of warm-ups that I normally do, kind of standard warm-ups, which we can demonstrate in a little bit. But also one of the things that I found has been really, really detrimental to keeping your voice warm is humming. And, whispering and talking quietly is actually quite bad for your voice. It makes your muscles kind of work even harder sometimes.
Really trying.
Yeah, really trying. But humming allows you to flex the muscle still without damaging it, keeps you warm, and you can end up singing some really, really nice kind of areas. But if you hum them, then you're going to stay warm.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah, should we demonstrate that?
Yeah, I think
should we demonstrate that?
Yeah, go for it. Go on then.
So what I normally do is you'd have and we do that up and down. So let's do this together.
Okay.
So you've got then we move up. And so forth. Let's do one more. So it helps you warm up without damaging yourself. So if you've got a big run of kind of vocal things coming up, then just keep humming, keep moving that muscle without damaging it in any way.
My top tip a lot of the time as well with vocal warm-ups is often you are going from lowest note to highest note or highest note to lowest note, whichever you prefer. I personally prefer going from high to low. I just find for some reason my voice works better that way. But the one thing is really make sure that actually your face stays as relaxed as possible. All the time I see it's the eyebrows. The eyebrows are working so hard and they don't do anything. So you probably noticed then me and Amber, we're just very relaxed and you've got to stay relaxed. Don't make sure that your eyebrows don't follow the note.
It's a really, facial muscles are really important. I mean, this all comes down to warming up, but in actual fact, this is a whole separate kind of entity. You can see like actors sometimes who are like, oh, I need to warm up my face. It's very embarrassing. But it's true. I mean, if you're tense, if you're approaching high notes and you're scared of them, your jaw will naturally lock and tense. Then you're straining all down here, which can lead to your shoulders, to your back. So when you're approaching certain notes or learning how to sing higher, it does a lot of the time come down to your face and the openness and kind of the brightness and the more relaxed approach. If you're tense, you're screwing your face or you're, putting strange faces, it can alter the way you're singing and actually damage you.
Yeah, and there is a very scientific side to singing. So if this is something that, we're giving you little tips and as much as we can within this short video, but if this is something you want to develop within yourself, go and book a private singing lesson, even if it's just once. Join a choir.
Absolutely,
try some of your own warm-ups at home, because we're all individual. Everyone is all different shapes and sizes, and so are our voices. So it is really important that you take that time to discover your own way of doing it. There's
some really, really simple things that you can do with or without a piano. You can even go onto YouTube and find vocal or piano warm-ups, and you can sing along to them. But from an all-rounder point of view, let's just say, for instance, if you don't know any warm-ups and you want to learn some warm-ups, my glamorous assistant here, Megan, is going to sing with me. So we're gonna go to me, because this is like a really nice way of opening up, and it's good for your kind of sinuses as well. So all I would say is start doing things like this: me 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 me. So we're getting louder and higher. Me 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 me. Let's do one more. And obviously, as a singer yourself, you'll know that your voice changes from one side to another. Now, if we were going to go up another octave, that takes us into a whole new area. But yeah, start developing your own warm-ups. You can do them without music. You can do them without the use of a piano or accompanist. just do what works for you. Humming, some gentle me's or ahs or lahs or however you feel, but warming up is so important if you want to give a good performance.
Yeah. And your voice doesn't actually stop developing till you're about 27. It kind of levels
it changes
out
all the
around
time.
that point. But it is constantly changing. And even as, you know, we're both females, but obviously men understand that you go through a vocal break when you're younger, but girls do too. And we don't really notice ours as much as boys, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're constantly developing. So the warm-up for me is actually like, it's the same if you were trying to get into the splits within a year. For me, it's to keep everything fluid and to keep hold of all my different voices. I've come from a classical background as a child, but now I do pop and contemporary, but I can still access all of that classical side because I've kept working at it. And it's almost that feeling of keeping your voice. I always think of it like melting caramel.
Yeah.
You just want to keep it nice and soft and constantly stretching and developing.
I noticed a few years ago, a good few years ago, probably like 15 years, there were certain songs that I loved and that I tried singing, and I never felt like I could sing them very well. So I stopped singing them and moved on and did other things. And then in that period of time, I've sung so many different songs, so many different styles, that one day you end up coming back to those songs that you put on the shelf and you can sing them now. And I think it is literally about consistency. If you want to be a good, strong vocalist, keep practicing and keep doing those things. Don't overdo it, don't hurt yourself, go within your limits. But the more you do it, the more your muscle is going to be relaxed, and it's muscle memory as well. You know, you're stretching your vocal cords, like if you want to do the splits. You know, your body will start to remember the way that you do things the more you do them. So warm up, even if you do a basic warm up and a little bit of breathing, and then you sing a very comfortable song that you like to sing as your go-to warm-up song. It all helps.
You know, from a health and wellness point of view, staying hydrated is so important. It's important for everyone every day.
Absolutely.
Anyway, the water doesn't go actually anywhere near your vocal cords. So if you are having a struggle in the middle, drinking lots of water whilst you're singing is not going to help you. But it does help your body stay hydrated, and that is so important.
It is, absolutely. I mean, I recently, before Christmas, I went through a little bit of ill health, and I didn't really know what was wrong because I thought I was doing everything right. And I had a lot of gigs and I was under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. But it wasn't until I made myself drink excessive amounts of water that I realised how much my body needed it. My voice, it had another gear. It had another gear. I took away sugar and I put lots of water back into my body, and my voice ramped up a whole level that I hadn't experienced for a good few years. And I could no longer put it down to being tired or over gigging. It was about what I was putting in my body. And yeah, like Megan says, it's not like you drink water and it goes directly to this and it's nice and kind of relaxed for you. It's actually replenishing your body and kind of the energy levels within you that need that source.
My second major one, I think, for me is rest, sleep. 100%. Your body, you know, like we've already discussed, you're using so much of your body when you sing, and rest is super important.
As a gigging musician, it gets hard. Especially if you're a gigging musician, singer, and you're also balancing another job, maybe a 9 to 5 or something. It's a full-on life, but you have to make time to rest, even if it's not necessarily sleeping, but just being still and relaxing. But sleep is the most important thing. You really, really do realise that when you've had 3 or 4 gigs on the go, and then you suddenly realise there's no time in your diary to sleep. But it's important. Sleep, water, and keeping warm.
Yeah, keeping warm, definitely. And it does come down to food sometimes as well. You know,
Absolutely.
We hear all these different rumours of different vocalists' techniques and what they do before a show and things like that. But for me, dairy is an absolute no-go. It really doesn't help my throat in any way.
It doesn't help, but it does taste good. But we appreciate that chocolate is lovely. But it's just a fact. It doesn't make your throat very good before you sing. So if you've got a weekend out or you've got a birthday party and you've got a chocolate cake or whatever, people aren't saying don't eat these things. They're just saying be mindful if you're about to sing, try not to do the dairy route because it will clog you up. It makes for a very, very awkward, strained kind of vocal. So just really, really simple stuff, really.
Should we summarise with some top tips?
Yes.
What would your top tip be?
Okay, my top tip. Warm up and sing songs that are comfortable to you. I think over a period of time, you will learn where your voice is comfortable. You will learn what tests you. I think organising your set lists around the comfort of your voice and how it warms up into your set is a really important thing. But ultimately, stay warm, stay hydrated.
My top tip is going to be more to do with vocal warm-up specifically, and that's not to be afraid to make a loud noise.
Yeah.
Humming is a great place to start. If you are someone that is more shy, we've already demonstrated something you can use, but don't be afraid to then go and open it up, because at the end of the day, all the songs that you're going to be singing are using words. So you have to kind of develop yourself from the humming through to your E's and R's and Oo's, and then use a warm-up that has got words in it. Otherwise, you will find
it is,
that
it's
you're
big
adding
help.
something else on top that, you know, is going to be fighting against you.
Also, you know, it's an open conversation for people about staying healthy and looking after themselves. That is each to their own. But I will just say, you will find a difference in a top vocal performance if you've had a lot to drink, for instance, if you've had a lot of sugary drinks. It's about what works for you. Some people can drink copious amounts of coffee or smoke 1,000 cigarettes. It doesn't affect them. So it is really, it's up to you how you want to sound. But if you want to give the best performance you ever can, is just think about your health, think about what you're putting into your body, or what you're not putting in terms of water, and be prepared to see massive results when you change those things about.
Again, as ever, if you want to get in touch with us, or you want any advice or some more specific advice to do with vocal warm-up, then please feel free to just get in touch with us at our website, and we look forward to hearing from you. We love talking to you all the time.